In 1954, uranium was discovered in the Selkirk Mountains on the Spokane Indian Reservation. When mining of the ore began soon thereafter, not much was known about the effects of radioactivity, heavy metals, and acidic mine waste on human health, and what was known at the time was not readily shared with mine workers and nearby tribal residents. When the price of uranium fell in 1981, the open pit Midnite mine became inactive and most of the digs were covered with backfill. However, 2 large open pits remain today. The mine and at least 38 million tons of waste rock contain toxic elements such as arsenic, cadmium, lead, and uranium, as well as decay products of uranium and other toxic metals. What is worse, the deep mine pits pierce into the water table, allowing the toxins to seep into the groundwater as well as into the reservation's Blue Creek, which is a tributary of the Spokane River. The Spokane tribe, the surrounding community, and many of the former uranium miners who are tribal members have long suspected that there's a disproportionate incidence of illnesses that are symptomatic of exposure to radiation.
At the mine itself, you know, they had badges to see how much we were affected by radiation, but they didn't tell us, don't take your work boots home, don't take your coveralls home. I worked in the mine in the mill area as a maintenance worker, and we were in all areas of yellow cake, all the vats. Yellow cake area, we went up there and changed motors. We had to, some people had to clean stuff, and they were right in the yellow cake, standing right in it. You know, and they never did tell us, don't take things home with you. So I don't think they had the workers in mind. They didn't care much whether they got sick or not.
Well, I just hope they don't open the uranium mines up again, because now I realize that's where a lot of the cancers come from. And there's a lot of people that's getting cancer on the reservation, and a lot of people has passed on because of it.
After years of the Spokanes battling with the mining companies and years of testifying before federal agencies, the Midnite mine site was added to the list of EPA National Priority Superfund sites in 2000, and the cleanup plan was finalized in 2006. The Superfund cleanup plan involves pumping water from the open pits to a nearby treatment plant where the radioactive sludge is removed and hauled away. Eventually, the open pits will be filled in with waste rock and restored to wild habitat. The acidic water, though greatly reduced in volume, will continue to be pumped out and treated. Even though a 2007 public health assessment by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services concludes that radiation and radionuclides related to the Midnite mine site are not expected to cause harmful health effects to those who occasionally visit the mine site and nearby areas, there are currently dozens of tribal members in the process of filing claims with the Radiation Exposure Compensation Act, which is administered through the Department of Justice. The Shaw Society, a grassroots nonprofit organization based on the Spokane Indian Reservation, is actively pursuing solutions to the filings of the many tribal members who are claiming health care issues related to the effects of uranium mining.
What Shaw is doing is we're trying to inform the community about this compensation program, as well as a program that is has been put forward by the Department of Labor, which will compensate people for their work and the reduced quality of life that has occurred for them as a result of the health issues from the uranium mining.
In a major victory for the Environmental Protection Agency and the Spokane Tribe, U.S. District Court Judge Justin Quackenbush on July 14, 2008, found Newmont USA Limited and Dawn Mining LLC liable for their share of the estimated $152 million cleanup on the Midnite Mine Superfund site, and also to ensure the sludge is properly disposed of.
There have been some victories within the court system, and there is going to be some movement moving forward for the cleanup up there, which has been long overdue. It's my surprise that it's taken this long, and it is my surprise that there's not more concern for the public safety of the people, not only the Native Americans, but other people, because impacts from there are going to go downstream, as they say, and there's no guarantee that they're able to keep everything contained up there. So I find it very hard to believe that the health and welfare of all people is not a #1 priority.
I think that's very beneficial because Midnite has always never had the money to do a proper cleanup. Newmont is a parent company of it, and they got deep pockets to where they could do it the way we'd like to have it done. You know, we can't get it back to original state, but as close as we can for further generations.
Like any Superfund site, it does involve collaboration for a complicated problem like this. In particular, we have some land use issues and some regulatory issues that have to be solved at the same time that a lot of money has to be brought to bear to make this problem get to a closure. So it brings in state, federal, private parties, and of course the tribe and individual tribal members. We all need to be pulling together to make it work.
After more than 50 years of having airborne and waterborne contaminants spread about the reservation, many tribal members feel that resolution is coming too little, too late.
So the right to know has been a major, major concern, where people have not been allowed decision-making about their own lives. And as a result, we have a median age of 26 here on this reservation. And we've lost many of our elders. And in losing our elders, our language and our culture. So our lifeways have been impacted as equally as when Grand Coulee Dam was erected by what's going on. And we foresee that future generations will continue to be impacted by this problem.
My grandma Alex had breast cancer. My grandpa Arnold had leukemia. His brother, who worked with him at the mine, is fighting cancer, and then his other brother is also fighting cancer right now. And that's affecting my family a lot, you know. We're a pretty big family and we're kind of close, so it's not the greatest thing to talk about.
It's hard for me to see any life when I go up that road. Oh, look at that elk standing up there. Gee, looks strong, looks healthy. Look, there's a mother deer and her babies. They look so strong and healthy. You can't say that anymore. I feel sadness for them because they don't know what they're doing when they're drinking that water, because they need that lifeblood of water just like we as Indian people need it. And the sadness of it is when they drink that, they're hurting themselves. That's what makes it sad.
While waiting for the Midnite Mine to be covered up and restored, tribal members will continue to do what they have done on these lands for thousands of years. Despite the dangers, they will hunt, fish, gather, and join together for cultural and spiritual gatherings. For Northwest Indian News, I'm Twila Abrahamson reporting.